Good evening, Alexander Marks with the Nevada State Education Association. At a time when our state budget uncertainty means education funding is increasing by only $2, and when the federal budget crisis threatens hundreds of millions of dollars in cuts to our education program, Carson City is now considering a Hollywood handout. We don't need Hollywood influencing our state any more than it already does. Clearly, we're already living in La La Land. Nearly 2 years ago, we stood here opposing public funds for a stadium voucher to a billionaire baseball owner. Today, we stand here again to oppose public money for a Tinseltown tax break. This sequel is worse than the original. If there's any investment worse than a stadium, it's a handout for film studios. Sadly, education advocates are usually only in this committee to oppose handouts to billionaires and explain why we should keep public money in public services like schools. We must put schools over studios and pass the plan. This doesn't have to be a fantasy film. Unfortunately, the Commission on School Funding's plan has been dismissed by the governor, turning Nevada's public education into a low-budget drama with a cliffhanger every 2 years. Let's talk slashers. I'm not talking Chucky, I'm talking way scarier. An unelected billionaire working for the Department of Gutting Education. Let's see what's playing in this political theater. Title I slashed, IDA slashed, Pell Grants slashed. Scary. Losing hundreds of millions of dollars our students, educators, and parents rely on would further exacerbate countless issues plaguing our public schools. Let's be clear, Nevada education needs the blockbuster budget. Hollywood doesn't need to use Nevada's budget for its blockbusters. The Motion Picture Association isn't here this evening, so I'll provide a rating for the public. AB 238, rated F, requiring billionaire companies to build their own studios without public money. Strong, misguided priorities, including a poor use of public money, while we rank 48th in per pupil funding with the largest class sizes and highest educator vacancies in the country. We can ensure this sequel doesn't get made, though. We can put schools over studios and write our own movie. Coming soon, Pass the Plan, starring you all as the heroes.
Thank you, Mr. Marks. Do you mind sharing your demonstrative with our secretary?
I will share the visual.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Committee. My name is Robert Munson. I represent the Nevada State Education Association. I am a teacher here in Northern Nevada in the classroom day in and day out. And the Nevada State Education has been the voice of public education in the state of Nevada for over 125 years. We oppose AB 238, which would extend over $1.5 billion in tax giveaways to Hollywood studios in over 15 years. Yesterday, we heard about the $2 budget increase that was proposed by the governor. This is really a joke. It doesn't keep up with inflation. It doesn't keep up with budgets at our schools and our districts. We have called on the governor and the legislature to pass the plan offered by the Commission on School Funding to reach optimal education funding, to bring us to the national average. We're not asking to go all Hollywood and to be at the top of the country. We just want to be at the average, at least, in how we fund our schools. The effects here are real. According to the Economic Forum's December projection, Nevada is estimated to lose $119 million in general fund revenue to tax credits this year alone. That goes up to $143 million next year, assuming that the A's build their stadium. In the out year, it rises to $157 million. Those are funds that otherwise could be going to important services, including our education system. Imagine taking away another $100 million a year. Tax credits and abatements, like the ones we've given to Tesla and to other corporations, have not given off the dividends they've been promising. Fully fund Nevada's public education to the national average, reduce our class sizes from 35 to 40 students per class, which are some of the highest in the nation, and bring this bill to a close by defeating it. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Brian Wallace. I'm the Vice President of the Nevada State Education Association, which has been representing and being the voice of all educators in the state of Nevada for 125 years, and we oppose AB 238. The Commission on School Funding has taken a professional and methodical approach to their mission. They have not recommended a film tax credit or any other enticement of industry to improve the funding of our schools. That's likely because tax credits just don't generate the net revenue. This is particularly the case for film tax credits. Study after study shows that film tax credits, whether in existing industry or to lure studios or productions to a new location, cost more than they actually bring in. In California, the Legislative Analyst Office found that California had made 65 cents for every dollar spent on the film tax credits. An audit conducted for New York State's Department of Taxation and Finance found that film tax incentives only produced 31 cents in direct and indirect revenue for every dollar spent. Meanwhile, Georgia, mentioned several times this evening, has built a significant film industry with the lure of tax credits. However, they are only generating 19 cents of revenue, 19, for every dollar spent per the Georgia State University Fiscal Research Center. Sadly, there has been a fundamental contradiction in the actions of Nevada leaders when it comes to properly funding public education and other vital state services, as mentioned. While nearly every elected official claims to prioritize education, there's a competing record of corporate giveaways, from Tesla to the Raiders to the A's and now to Hollywood billionaires, that cost the state over $1 billion, which costs our students. Immediately after the last session, the governor convened a special session to ensure another billionaire, John Fisher of the A's, would receive another $380 million in public money that could have easily gone to every single student within this state instead of just a measly $2 as mentioned for this current biennium. In response, NSCA launched Schools Over Stadiums. While we haven't yet stopped those subsidies in the streets or in the courts, we have succeeded in generating a ridiculous amount of coverage, turning the tide of public opinion. In an Emerson College poll of likely Las Vegas voters in 2024, 52% opposed the use of public money for the construction of a baseball stadium. Only 32% showed any type of support. That's 20 points underwater. Now with Schools Over Studios, NSCA is committed to continuing our efforts to make sure Nevada's priorities align with the people and our students and our schools and our communities. We urge you in the strongest way possible to reject AB 238 and meanwhile hope that the Revenue Committee will give full consideration to revenue proposals that have been put forth by the Commission of School Funding. Please pass the plan. Thank you.